was the worst possible drink of choice if you're a first-timer, if this is the New Year's, where you're legally of age and you're looking to just let it rip because you can legally drink. What is the worst drink of choice? So I thought I would ask Brian Hadad this because he had numerous experiences, not only in college but out of college. So, Brian, if you're going to advise those younger people now that always happen every single day behind you, what would you suggest they stay away from if this is their first time to party?
I don't know if you're familiar with the term hunch punch, but it's basically Hawaiian punch and Everclear. Don't drink that.
Oh, no.
Jeez.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
What is the ratio of Hawaiian punch to Everclear? Or does it really matter?
A lot to a little. No, it doesn't matter very much.
Somebody said, how do you pronounce this? Absinthe. Isn't it? It's
absinthe,
one of those hard words. Absinthe.
Real absinthe will mess you up because that's not only alcoholic, but it's a hallucinogen. So you'll be drunk and high at the same time. Yeah, you don't want to do that. I watched
some of the guys make it on Moonshine, one of the episodes of Moonshine. And I mean, it has the same things with the Italian folks put in biscottis. But I think that's where it leaves it for the most part. You will turn to a cookie.
Yeah, basically.
It would be bad news.
Don't do
Johnny
it,
in West Point. No. Stay away from anything that starts with an A. That would be alcohol, but absinthe is not what you want. First of all, how do you drink something green in any quantity at all? So
there's a whole process.
Leave it there.
Gallo, you got to drip it over a sugar cube and let it sit there for a little while. It's crazy.
Absinthe is made by distilling neutral alcohol with botanicals. The holy trinity is wormwood, anise, and fennel to create a concentrated high-proof spirit. Other ingredients that are commonly included is hyssop, Melissa. Hyssop, is that how you pronounce it?
Well, Melissa. I thought you just said sizzip. Never mind.
Star anise and lemon balm. So I think that's our education on
it. And I don't want to be in.
Yeah, you will feel like a lemon drop. All right. You've been watching this all morning long. You have been making calls. You've been talking to your sources here. The game is tomorrow night. Take it away. Where are we and what is the status as of this morning as we speak at 8:40?
As of this morning, this game is going to get played. As of this morning, Mississippi State and Texas Tech are set to kick off at 5:45 p.m. Now, you and I both know that could change in 5 minutes. We could finish this interview, and I could report something differently. But when I checked in yesterday afternoon, everything was still on as far as I know.
Any rumors out there as far as the Ole Miss game? It's about the same thing as far as the status is concerned.
Yeah, it's as far as we know, the game is going to get played. But that's a game, you're talking about January 1st. So you talk about some time for things to go wrong. They're definitely there.
Boy, you just got to put them in a bubble, and that's about all you can possibly do. Tell me about the game tonight. What's your thoughts on that?
The Liberty Bowl game?
Yeah, the Liberty Bowl game.
Well, you said tonight. It's tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow night. I'm sorry.
Saints game is tonight.
I was like, we talk about the Saints. Yeah, I'll be happy to.
Well, I was drinking some green stuff in here, so I wasn't paying attention. So.
I've had some hunch punch over here. I think it's a game that the matchups favor Mississippi State. This is a Big 12 team, Texas Tech. That they were not bad this year, but they were not as good as some of the SEC teams that Mississippi State was able to beat. They're not as good as Kentucky or Auburn or Texas A&M were. And then you have the personal motivation of Mike Leach in this game. He's made it pretty public that his relationship with Texas Tech at the end there was very strained and very sour. He still believes they owe him a large sum of money for a wrongful termination. I think he's determined to sort of get his pound of flesh here in this game if he has the opportunity to do so. So I feel like the matchups favor Mississippi State, and if they play their best possible game, that they'll win pretty easily.
Well, and also just to see what game Will Rogers brings to the field on that particular night tomorrow night.
Yeah, he has if I'm doing my math correct, he doesn't need a whole lot of yards to finish second all time as far as SEC single-season passing yards. Now, Bryce Young, the Alabama quarterback, is probably going to get ahead of him because he'll play an extra game, assuming Alabama beats Cincinnati, which I feel like is a pretty safe assumption. But Rodgers is going to be close to – if he does what he's been doing all year, he'll finish the season around 4,900 yards. If he has a monster game on Tuesday, he could go over 5,000 yards, which would be only the second quarterback in SEC history to do so, with Joe Burrow, who threw for a ton of yards, obviously, a couple years ago when he won the Heisman Trophy. Rodgers, if he plays the kind of game he's been playing all year and manages to not turn the ball over, which he's done at a great clip this year, 35 touchdowns to only 8 picks, then he's going to have the kind of game that sort of launches him into next season. And that's what, I talked about on today's Thunder and Lightning podcast is this game is sort of the launching point for the next 2 years for Mississippi State, when you look at what they bring back in terms of production, they should be really good for the next 2 seasons with Will Rogers there calling the shots. I
think Coach said that in one of the interviews after the Egg Bowl. He says, don't get tired of these guys because you're going to see them for a long time. So
Will Rogers has 2, possibly 3 more years as a starting quarterback.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to be fun to see how much he matures because at that age, it's almost coming back as a different person because you've got the growth, you've got the experience, you've got the confidence, and it's going to be fun to watch him play, not only in the Liberty Bowl, but next year also. Weather is not going to be a situation where, I guess if we had an Oregon or an International Falls team, slippery rock. But, it's going to be warm, but both of these teams are used to that.
Yeah, you think about the Liberty Bowl, Mr. Gallo, and that has provided some of the worst weather that Mississippi State fans have ever had to sit in, both heat and cold. I don't know how a stadium can be both the hottest and the coldest in the world, but the Liberty Bowl is. But it looks like it's going to be, high 60s, low 70s tomorrow. Yep. Very little chance of rain. That's when this game was announced and you're thinking, oh, gosh, Memphis, the last week of December, the weather's going to be bad. But there's no excuse for weather. And from what I've been told, I expect a pretty good crowd of Mississippi State fans there tomorrow. So good weather, a good opponent. Should be a good bowl game for State.
Any notables that will not play for sure as of this moment because of COVID or injuries?
Not from COVID or injury, but obviously Charles Cross and Martin Emerson, both of those guys have declared for the NFL draft, and they will not be playing in this game. So State will be without its top cornerback and its top left tackle, which, you talk about Will Rogers, the guy protecting him all season long on the blind side there. Is gone. So it'll be a brand new guy. Probably Nick Jones will be starting at left tackle. So an audition for him for next season. But if you're Will Rogers, there's a little bit of lingering doubt in your mind, like the guy who's protected me all year isn't there right now.
What's been the tenor of the feedback that you've gotten on SportsTalk, you guys, as far as the comments from Mike Leach? Because I have always agreed with him on this one. Not only him, but anybody else who says this. I think you brought your team there. You're part of the team, but and then other people will come in and say, "Come on, this is his career, his life, money's at stake." But what's been the feeling as far as the overview of the audience on SportsTalk?
The audience is pretty much pro Mike Leach on that particular topic, that they think players should finish out what they've started. I see both sides of it, as you can imagine. I see where Mike Leach is coming from because he wants to win the game, and winning the game would be easier for him with Charles Cross and Martin Emerson. I feel like we hold our athletes to a different standard than we hold everybody else sometimes. Coaches leave all the time before a bowl game. State's got a coach right now who's already taking another job at USC, and he's gone. And nobody talks about him, but we'll talk about Charles Cross leaving.
Good point. Good point.
It's just, I feel like we do it in a lot of different things. We talk about with NIL and things like that. We always hold our athletes to a much higher standard than we hold just about everybody else in America. You and I are free to go make whatever money we want to make. But for an athlete, it's like, I don't know. So I've never gotten that.
Well, like you said, the coaches do it all the time, and they're doing it as we speak. The other thing, as far as disarray is concerned, look at the New Orleans Saints. They play tonight. And who's this? Who? The book is on the quarterback.
Bob.
Not
Ian
Bob,
Book.
It's Book. Ian Book. A little bit. You know anything about this guy?
He was at Notre Dame the past few years and, got them in the college football playoff. Really good college quarterback. I don't think New Orleans expected him to have to play this year. So if the Saints win this game tonight, I'll be pretty impressed. They're missing almost 20 guys due to the COVID.
I know.
Calls, so we'll see what happens.
This one shouldn't even count. Sports Talk on the air this afternoon, coming up at 3 o'clock. Not only audio, but video at C-Spire Channel 70 and all over the place at SuperTalk TV.